You're good, dude. I'm just messing with this. My pedal all stuck into the cubby. You're good. Good. Come here. Here. Ow. God damn it. Here. You want this? Want this? Cereals. Hey, want this? Cereals. Here. I came across this video. I wanted to know who this person is. And bollock. And the first thing I noticed was the MP. Because I'm not from England. I don't know what MP is. I mean, I assume it's something with Parliament, but he's not the Prime Minister because it would be PM and not MP. So first thing I looked at who he is. Politician who has served as Member of Parliament for Great Yarmouth since 2024. Elected for Reform UK. He has sat as an independent since March 2025 following the suspension of the party whip. He founded the political organization Restore Britain on June 30th, 2025, converting it into an official political party on February 13th of this year, 4 days ago. He was a member of the European Parliament, MEP, for the West Midlands from 2019 to 2020. It just talks about what he did before politics. The chairman of the Southampton Football Club. He went into the Parliament election 2019. He held a role in UK removing itself from the EU. So he's somebody that's doing stuff in English government. Well, that's where we get to took me a second because it's down here. It is down here. Dude's definitely getting it in for his political work. You gotten far enough. F. You know, when you see restore England's immigration policy, Britain's immigration policy. There it is. So, and there's a reason. You're all right, bud. There's a reason why I'm about to go through this. And it's not because of the countries he calls out down here. It's something deeper. Not really deeper. It's it's the common sense of it is what I'll be talking about, what I'm going to talk about. It's the absolute common sense of it. Because this guy talks how I do. He talks how I talk, because constantly chewing on a book, constantly tiptoeing around people's feelings, or tiptoeing around saying the wrong thing. You don't want to offend people. Unless you're out being malicious toward people, being a complete asshole toward people, just berating and belittling for no reason, then you should not be tiptoeing around people's feelings. If you have to censor yourself to a point, because I mean, just being completely vulgar and seemingly belligerent, it's not helpful, and that's what I mean by that. Um, just being a belligerent a-hole to people, it's not going to help anything. Going out and being racially an asshole, a racially indifferent asshole, is not going to help anybody. It's going to do nothing but get your point missed, because you may have a point. You may have a point. You may have some greater good you're working toward, but it gets thrown to the side whenever you become the belligerent asshole. If somebody doesn't want to listen to what you say, then whatever. Somebody else will. And if what you're saying isn't trying to indoctrinate people, isn't trying to create a divide between groups of people, then what you say is not going to be for everybody. It's just how it works. Some people's ears and minds are way too sensitive to be able to digest what the large capacity of us are saying. And one thing that I have to remember is not all of my family members think the way I do, which brings me to the, I wish they would support me in this world, this capacity, but these are things that they don't want to worry about, because they have other worries, like raising their families, just growing old. The words that I speak, and a lot of people like me speak, aren't to get everybody charged up and running outside and pitchforking everything. No, it's to keep, it's to say, keep it in mind when you see things happening that start to make you confused. When you start feeling confused about what's happening, just know that that confusion is being filtered to you. You're purposely being made confused so that you can't pay attention to what's happening. That's fine. If you don't want to muster through the confusion, that's fine. But don't attack those of us that do. Because there are a lot of people, and I'm not talking about people that I know. Not every person that I know is being led astray into the confusion. there are some people that I know that I see their posts, I see what they say, I see the things on their profiles. I can tell they're being led into confusion. And that's fine. If the family protection is more important than being in the know, do that. It's I would, you're more useful doing that. You're not useful bringing your confusion out here with the rest of us and not wanting to remedy the confusion. That's fine. You want to stay confused? That's fine. Raise your family, deal with your family, do your family thing. But don't attack those of us that are out here living in the confusion, trying to sort the confusion out. Because that's what we're ultimately doing with the web, with these commentaries, with these analyses. This is what we are doing. We are working to sift through the confusion and sort it out, put it in a readable metric. Because while our education system is being turned into a measurable metric to generate workers, there are those of us that know that and still break free of that. And that's why we're here. We're here not to make you all scared and hide in your homes and be afraid. Be afraid, be very afraid. No, that's not what we want. We want you just to know that the hamburger you're buying from the McDonald's down the road isn't just being pushed by a company who wants to feed America. There's a deeper thing to them pushing it. Otherwise, the original McDonald's brothers would still have control of their company. It wouldn't have been allowed for somebody like Ray Kroc to ultimately steal that from them, because that's what he did. Let's be serious. Even the movie trying to downplay it, you can see in there that Ray Kroc is not a good guy. He's not this family good guy. He is a schemer. He's a con artist and a schemer. And he conned and schemed the McDonald's brothers out of their business. And that's relevant because that's how these people, the people up here, that's how they operate. They don't operate in a world of what can I do to make the world better. It's what can I do to make me better? Because if I can't make me better, I can't dream of making anyone else better. But then when they get better, do they help anybody else get better? No, they don't. They turn around and enrich their friends who are already up there with them. That's where it connects. Because these people are no different than the people he talks about, the people in our government, the people running our cities, our states, districts. These people are all the same kind of people. And the illegal immigration he's referring to is the same problem we have here that is being perpetuated by our political system. And we can say, well, no, that's just the Democrats. No, it's the Republicans too. Because again, let's just ask. Let's ask Gemini. Um, See, right here. They tried to cite higher figures, but this is the number he was actually claiming. He was actually claiming the first numbers that were being spouted off. He was claiming about 10 million people. The Biden administration let in about 10 million people. And then as it went on, the numbers started to grow. And where we are now is in the 20 million. It went from about 10 million to 20 million. And today, they're saying that there are still 20 million illegal immigrants left to get out of the country. Nope, sorry, bud. So, again, the reason that I'm saying this is because the immigration numbers are false. You can't trust these people. This has been perpetuated by these same people. They create the problem, pretend to solve the problem, and then pat themselves on the back and say, look what I did for you. The S&P 500 is over 50 points, over 500 points, or whatever the hell. I don't pay attention to the stock market. I'm fucking poor. Poor people can't pay attention to a figment of imagination game. Because at least with video games, there's instant gratification. There's instant sadness. That's not pushed down the road 15 years whenever you all decide to crash the market to reallocate money into your pockets and out of ours. COVID. COVID was a financial attack on the middle class, on the working class. That's what COVID was. We can sit here and say all day that it was some pandemic. No, it was not a pandemic. It was planned, it was executed, and successful because it reallocated all of the middle class money back up to the top. And the top started writing laws and regulations and rules to make sure that the middle class doesn't grow as big as we did before COVID. And what's weird about it is Donald Trump actually grew it. Donald Trump grew the middle working class in 2016 to 2020. He grew it. That's why we got so powerful in those 4 years. But then COVID happens. Redistributes. I don't know why it was so hard to say that word. Redistributes all of the wealth back upward, leaving the middle and working class now the new poverty class. And those who were just millionaires, they're the new working class. So now our poverty is probably around $70,000 to $80,000 a year, regardless of what they're saying. The way this society works in the United States of America, if you're not making six figures, you're basically in poverty. That's what they've done. And that's why it's relevant, because they used illegal immigration to do it. They used pumping millions and millions and millions of low IQ, low skill set, useless people into this country. And I'm going to say it, they are useless. They are useless people. They came into this country, instantly went on welfare, instantly went on subsidized housing, instantly went on medical benefits, instantly fucking plowed into our emergency rooms and our hospitals. That is useless. Those are useless tactics. So, yes, millions and millions of useless people flooded in here. So I'm at this point. I'm at this point of where this parliament guy is. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to substitute out Britain for America. And I'm going to do it, obviously not with their statistics, because they won't match. Our statistics won't match, and I'll have to go through this whole research to pull the same statistics in just to make it fit like that. So anything that's like restore, when it says restore Britain's immigration policy, no, that's going to be restore America's immigration policy. Restore it back to where it was when Bill Clinton was in office. That we can find pretty easily. What was Bill Clinton's immigration policy? And people can say, well, this stuff changes as you get older. No, actually, as you get old, it gets worse. You start to become very hard-lined, very line drawn in the sand that is not just a line, it's a chasm. That's where you get as you get older. Now, if you're one of these Karen retards, yeah, you'll stay young forever. That's because those are the kind of people that they can't deal with getting old. Like dying is probably the scariest thing in the world to them. You ask a Karen, what's the scariest thing in the world to you, and death included, they'll probably say, well, death. I don't want to die. I have so many things to do. I have so much. I. It's all about I. That's how Karens work. So yeah, there are going to be Karens that don't want to grow up, are afraid of dying. So no, you don't see things softer as you get older. No, they become more rigid as you get older because you start to be fed up. You start to become very, very impatient with ignorance. And that's ultimately what it is. You're impatient with ignorance. Not that you hate people, it's that you're impatient with, you just don't have time for ignorance and ignorant people. I'm not going to sit here and try to say what I need to say 40 times before, just so you can get it and grasp it. No. I'm going to be mean to you after a while. And it's not going to happen. It's not happening maliciously. It's happening naturally. Because naturally, as humans, we only have so much patience. Even the nicest person in the world only has so much patience. I mean, the first line, heavily focused on reducing undocumented immigration through increased enforcement, border security, and stricter, faster deportation procedures. Okay. Some will say, oh, that's out of context, so I'll grab this whole bit right here. It gives you all the context. And we're going to build us a nice little paint document. Okay, there's Bill Clinton's immigration policy. Now let's go over and see one of his colleagues. Who was next after? I mean, we have Bush. George W. Bush, because George H. Bush is his father. He's Wilbur, George Wilbur Bush. I believe. I'm pretty sure that's what the W stands for. I'm going to ask it. What does the W in George Walker? Okay. I thought it was Wilbur. My uncle Joe, is his middle name is Wilbur. That's my grandfather Joe. His middle name was Wilbur. So some people they talk to my uncle. They just call him Wilbur. My stepdad, just calls my Uncle Joe Wilbur. Wilbur! He yells it like that too. Like, Wilbur, what are you doing, Wilbur? It's such a goofy name. Which is probably why my Grandpa Joe didn't ever use his middle name. It took me a long time before I realized he also had a Wilbur as his his middle name. It cracks me up. All right. Are we sure here, Mr. Bush? That sounded a little Democrat. And I'm pretty sure George W. Bush, the Bushes, aren't the Bushes. Yes, the Bush family are prominent Republicans. So why would the Bush family why would George W. Bush, the least intelligent of them all, carry a Democrat policy? Because this is a Democrat policy. This is straight up Democrat policy. Enhanced border security with a temporary worker program for undocumented immigrants. That is a straight up contradictory policy to most Republican policies. And that's G-Dub. That's G-Dub. A Bush dynasty member believes in a more Democrat policies than Democrats do. Because in contrast, this is everyone's favorite sexual predator president, who was like, nah, get him the hell out of here. Get him out. We don't want him. You're not sending your best and brightest. We don't want him. Okay, so we got G-Dub, we got Clinton, Obama. Obama's the same way. Obama was Clinton's same way Clinton was. Targeting criminals. This is kind of a little bit what George W. was doing. But he was still targeting inside the country, targeting criminals, illegal immigrant criminals. Also, what Trump was seemingly doing. I'm kind of afraid to see this one. Oh my goodness. Biden's like, they're not so bad. They're not so bad. Let them in. Let them in. Oops. I'm a bitch. Can't remember what the scroll, how many lines the scrolling is. Like a single scroll, like if you just scroll your mouse wheel like that, like this once, it actually, it jumps a certain amount of lines. It's not technically the page down. Is it actually, I'm almost positive most websites don't have a free scrolling window, because if it was, if I scrolled it once, it wouldn't stop. If it was free scrolling, you scroll just like this, you do this, and once you let off, if it was free scrolling, it would keep going. But it's not. They have something in it where each scroll is only a certain amount of lines, so that you're like 3 lines, 4 lines, looks like. Yeah, about 4 lines. So each scroll is about 4 lines of text. And I do that for text because you might not have text on the screen, but if you envision lines on the screen, it would be about 4 textual lines that it's going to scroll on most websites. Some have pulled it out because they don't care what you're looking at. Something like Google, they want you to kind of stay here and spend time here doing stuff. So they're going to do something like that to keep you here. It's not malicious. It's just saying we want you to stay here and read whatever you're reading about or whatever. Look at stuff. We want you to stay here. It blows my mind how stupid this company is that runs this place I live, because the snow just melted. It just melted. Like it melted between yesterday and today. You know what these idiots are doing? They're out mowing the grass. They're out mowing the grass and doing yard work as if spring came early. And this is the things that I talk about, how people are squandering money. They're taking the money we pay them, and instead of upgrading our apartments and doing stuff they know they should be doing in our apartments, they take it and they dump it into stupid stuff like making the landscaping look pretty so that they can lie to people about how good this place is. Because as long as it looks pretty from the outside, you'll be conned to move in here, and then you're paying a bunch of money for nothing. It's literally nothing. But it's so expensive, you can't get ahead and ultimately be able to move out of a place like this. And they purposely do that so that, again, they keep poor people poor for a reason. No, there's absolutely no reason for dude to be walking around with a leaf blower. But no, they are. They hired a landscaping crew to go around and do landscaping when it's still winter time. Again, I wouldn't care if all the employees that worked here got fired, ended up on the unemployment line. The companies that run this place got sued out of existence and their employees ended up unemployed. I wouldn't care. I don't care. The amount of fuckery that these people do, they don't deserve having jobs. They don't deserve to live these comfortable little lives that they live, because they don't live in this bullshit. They're not watching their money being shot out the end of a leaf blower. Because instead of coming in and replacing the windows of my apartment, the door of my apartment, that I've brought this stuff up millions of times. Like my apartment's not sealed. My air conditioner or my heater runs day in and day out because the temperature does not hold in this place. Oh, there's nothing we can do about that. While I'm paying them almost $1,000 a month to leave my windows and my doors unsealed to keep costing me more money and energy so that AEP can come behind and say, well, you guys are costing us so much. You're using so much energy. That's because we have private equity owning and running everything into the ground. They literally put no money back into any of these places at all. They worry about the landscaping, they worry about the gutters, they worry about the roof, but they don't do anything within the apartments themselves. They don't go and fix any of the leaking damage that was caused. They leave the furnaces to be the oldest, most janky things in the whole apartment. The water heaters are garbage. And those are just the small things. Or small things. Those are the big things. There's also the small things. Like, I have an outlet in my kitchen that's close to the sink that is exposed into the wall. Like, the outlet isn't even mounted to the wall to where I can just pull plugs out. No, I have to take my hand, put it up on the plate, then pull the plug out because they're not mounted at all. They're just flimsy hanging there. You bring that stuff up, they send somebody over, and what do? It stays janky. It stays janky. Again, these places, private equity needs sued out of existence. There should be no such thing as private equity having any stake in America. Because they do not do anything for the customer. It's all for themselves. It's all for their own profits. Which is why ghetto apartment complexes stay ghetto apartment complexes. Because the people running them don't have to live here. They drive in every morning, sell this con job to anybody that will give it a thought, and then drive home to their gated community in their 7-figure neighborhood. And if you ask them, well, why don't you live there? You're selling the place, so why aren't you living there? You want me to put my family in that kind of danger? But then they'll have no problem selling it to some poor family. Guarantee if they were all required to live here in order to actually push this place would have nobody working at it. And the people that do work here will wholeheartedly tell you exactly how the place is. They'll tell you exactly how the company is that runs the place. And it won't be nice. It will be more or less deterring people. Because the people that live here won't be able to bring themselves to lie. So therefore, the company running this place would fire everybody. They would not have anybody. And they would constantly lobby to have that requirement taken away. Or what they'll do is to say, oh, you can live wherever you want. You just have to have your permanent address set here because otherwise we could be sued out of existence. They'll find ways to be criminals, and they're some of the worst criminals on earth. A company that finds ways to skirt the law is way worse than any singular person breaking the law. because the government's allowing them to also exist and do that. So I don't believe in private equity, private anything. You can have private lives, but when it comes to business, no. Because when I hear the word private equity, it tells me that they're literally going to hurt the most people to enrich the smallest amount of people. Now, I think of the Sackler family when I hear private equity, because that's ultimately what they were, and why that even happened the way it happened. Because the Sackler family are not a good family; they're an evil, scheming con artist family. All of them, the entire genetic line of the Sackler family. This one's gonna be super. Actually, yes. Because we can zoom in. These were made smaller from bigger images. So we can ultimately. Oh, no, it loses definition really bad. Not so much. Oh, wait. It's still kind of legible. Still decently legible. I'm not really putting it up here to read. It's to prove a point. That none of their policies are any different than one another. They all run the same style policies. They make subtle changes here and there to make it look good for political points. But ultimately, they don't do anything different. They're all the same. They are all literally the same. They're not for any of us. They're just here to enrich themselves, enrich their friends at the expense of us. So, and that's ultimately the point of it, is to show that they're all the same. They're all the same. So Trump's policies are just mass deportations. Obama's kind of the same way, mass deportation. But he also made sure to put stuff in place for non-criminals to do stuff. I'm sure Trump is kind of the same way. If you're not illegally here, you're not looked at as a criminal. Trump's policy is just, if you're here illegally, that's the crime you've committed. You don't have to be a criminal coming into here already. The fact that you came in here illegally is the crime. Obama is basically just saying, well, coming in here, we're not going to look at that as your first illegal act. We're going to look at your past and see if you have have a criminal past. Which, I mean, that's harder to judge. It's harder to judge who is and was a criminal before they got here, because we can't assume that all these countries have good record keeping. Guarantee you, Mexico does not have good record keeping. Latin America doesn't have good record keeping. I would say most every Spanish speaking country some type, any Hispanic country does not have good record keeping. Well, just looking at statistics in class yesterday, seeing as Portugal is, they don't speak, I'm not saying they speak Spanish, but they are a struggling country. They're a developed country that doesn't have, like, they don't have the same type of professional system that we have. They're good for tourism, but other than that, they're not really. I mean, they're actually falling backward in growth, population growth. People are dying faster than they're being born, and people are leaving faster than they're being born. And that's in Portugal. Portugal, maybe last year or the year prior, was at like a negative 4.8% population growth. And that come out of a textbook. Yeah, you believe everything is in textbooks? I mean, if it's in a textbook, they can't just straight up lie to you. Because I'm pretty sure we can find the statistic somewhere else that shows somewhere in the last few years, Portugal's growth rate was in the negative, which means people were dying faster than they're being born. The biggest growth, one of the biggest growths in the world, was Niger. Niger had a huge growth. Can't remember what it was. It was a high percent. Because, and it's partly that they have like 119% growth in people aged 15 or younger, whereas it was like 19% for old people. Then they showed China. China was on a seemingly more on of a downturn, because China, it's not just the birth rates based off of the death rates and immigration rates. But China also, China is really kind of an outlier in that, because they created a birthing issue. Their society, up until 2016, their society was only allowing one child per family, which China ultimately, and it pushed them into being one of the country with one of the highest rates of human trafficking. Like, China, human trafficking is massive in China. And I mean, it was back before 2016 when they finally lifted that one child society policy. But before 2016, they were like one of the biggest exporters of humans. Like, they had a massive black market for selling babies, newborn babies. I watched the documentary in, I think it was 2018. Like 2018, I ran into the documentary. I ran into something else because Chinese protests were kind of kicking off. And I ran into something because that was part of the protesting, was the residual, what was left over from that one child society policy. They still had a lot of stuff left over from it. So their people were fighting them on it, along with labor, along with just the mistreatment of people in general. And that's around the time I ran into that documentary about the one-child policy. I mean, I had heard about China's one-child policy, but never really. It was a very taboo subject to talk about. Because to me, that's worse than immigration reform. Like, that's worse than ICE going in to cities to reform immigration. Indian scammers, man, they don't stop. They don't stop. They don't let up. And this is why I'm not nice to you. I'm not nice to you. I will never be nice to you. Indian scammers, they're relentless. They think they're intelligent, but they're some of the lowest forms of human and lowest forms of IQ on earth. They might be able to steal money from somebody, but they're stealing money from somebody who doesn't know any better. So y'all need to figure out a better job to do and not scammer job. Because you're making your entire society look bad. I don't give a damn how many the best ever food reviews they do in India. I don't care how many times Scammer Payback says not all Indians are like this. Well, the scammers are making all of India look bad. I don't care what their food is. I don't care what they are. The scammers are making the whole country look bad. If our politicians make our entire country look bad, then your scammers make your entire country look bad. Your pirates make your entire country of Somalia look bad. We can keep going on and on and on and on. The amount of human trafficking that China has done, it makes all of China look bad. And I only say that about the scammers because it just tax time rolls around and these people are relentless. They are relentless. And I am vicious to them. I am vicious. And they're lucky I can't see them face to face. You're absolutely lucky because I would spit right in both of your eyeballs. I'd spit right in your eyes. And then I would take your head and fart in both of your eyes and give you pink eye. And every time you healed from pink eye, I would fart back into your eyes and give you pink eye again. I would forever give you pink eye. I would keep your face taped to my asshole and fart in your eyes every time I had to fart. That's the treatment a scammer deserves. Forever having pink eye. And the times that somebody doesn't fart in your eyeballs to give you pink eye, you have a sty. I hope you always have feces in your eyeballs. Well, I mean, your country's whole is full of street shitters, so wouldn't surprise me if they all have feces in their eyeballs anyway. Again, the scammers are making your entire country look bad. If our politicians can make our entire country look bad, then your scammers make your entire country look bad. Put that to scale. Because you have a hell of a lot more people than we do. But again, all their policies on immigration are the same. They just tweak them here and there. Some of them use the fact that if you came into this country illegally, it's a no-go. That's your crime. Your crime is coming here illegally. Some were like, oh, we'll base your history on how you were. And then they find out, oh, okay, you're criminal. And then they send them away. So again, for a Republican, these are very Democrat policies. And Donald Trump's only deported 13 million people. or he's targeting 13 million people, but he's only deported probably like 100 grand, maybe 100 grand. What's up, bud? What you doing? Love you. Love you, bud. There you go. He's that's actually more than I expected, to be honest with you. 2.5 million. That's better than I thought. But again, even though he's deported that many people, and even say they keep deporting people, that number of illegal immigrants is going to keep growing. Oh, we miscounted. There are actually 30 million. Why, there are 40 million. No, it was like 100 million illegal immigrants here. That's what they do. That's what they do. They create a problem and then pretend to solve it. Because they're not going to actually solve this problem. So, going back to what we originally started talking about, and again, we're going to change some things to fit America because it fits. It fits here. Restore America's immigration policy. The lies and the smears have already begun. So here's the truth. Illegal migrants, gone, all of them, without apology, every man, every woman. They all will be deported. We have released the most comprehensive deportation policy ever introduced in America. Hundreds of pages of details of steps detailing the removal of every single illegal migrant living in our country. It is deportation poetry. This is step one. The miscreants are the priority. The sex pests will be removed. The hotels will be closed. The flights will begin. I promise you that. Don't need to go over it. The American people know the position. Legal immigration. For the foreseeable future, far more people will leave than enter. Entire visa routes will be closed off for certain countries that are proven to supply with sex pests, criminals, illegals, Islamists, and I'm going to put this in there, low IQ, not helpful to any society person. And the rest. This is vital. It underpins the entire policy. Who will be on that red list? Albania, Pakistan, Somalia, Eritrea, Afghanistan, and plenty more. India among them. We will discriminate. We will look at the facts and then discriminate. Good. We must understand that legal immigration has done far more damage to America than illegal immigration. So, large part of that must and will be reversed. If a foreign national is entirely unable to speak English, then they will be asked to leave. How can somebody possibly contribute if they cannot communicate? They can't. They should go home. Thanks, but no thanks. A foreigner claiming benefits and living in social housing, aka subsidized housing, living off welfare, living off of taxpayer dollars, again, they will be asked to leave. It is simply not our responsibility to care for these people. I wish them a happy and healthy life in their own countries. Watch how that helps solve our housing crisis overnight. British social or American social housing, American subsidized housing is for American families. Foreign criminals gone day one. No need to even discuss that. We will not tolerate extremists who wish to do us harm. Foreign Islamists will be deported. Dual national extremists will have their citizenships stripped and then deported. If an individual surrenders his second citizenship in an attempt to fraudulently remain in Britain, we will take the necessary steps to reverse that process and deport them. There is a reoccurring or fraudulently remain in America. We will take necessary steps to reverse that process and deport them. There is a recurring theme, and I am sure you have gathered. Whatever the American equivalent of that is, will be abolished in its entirety. Whatever this would be, it's probably like Biden politics, Obama politics, all that shit will be reversed. If a country refuses to accept their deported citizens, we will threaten them. Foreign aid, visas, remittances, and more. Push to work with other countries and others. A deportation NATO. Do it once hard enough and it won't happen again. You won't ever have to do this again. You create a deportation NATO and these countries don't do this again. They get it through their thick ass skulls to not ever do this again. A third-party scheme, like Rwanda, is key. It means that if we cannot ascertain where a foreign national is from, for whatever reason, they go to Rwanda. I hear it's lovely this time of year. We will still take a small number of ultra-high-skilled migrants on one condition. It benefits the American people. Rules and fees around spouse visas will be eased for individuals from non-red list countries. Fraud will be brutally crushed, but hard-working American men and women have every right to bring their foreign spouse to America and raise a family. It's meaning if you come from another country and you're a hardworking person coming here, then you have a right to be here. That will be celebrated and encouraged. But if you're not high skilled, not high intelligence, not hardworking, and you just want to come over here to live off our poverty system, no, hell no, get the hell out. Their arrival and subsequent contribution to America will be a net positive. In combination with the vast numbers of unproductive migrants being ejected, there will be one winner: the American people. How many deportations will all of this result in? Millions. If you don't like that, then Restore America is not the party for you. If you agree, then I hope you will consider joining us. And I'm not saying I'm starting a Restore America party. I mean, that would be great. Look, guys, I'm the head of the Restore America party. We need to get them all out. That also means these rich pedophiles. That's Restore America. Restore America to its clean values. And then again, when was America clean? But again, this can translate over into America, and it needs to. These Democrat policies, these overly suicidal, empathetic policies need to go away. we are ultimately one culture of people, which is human, but we don't need to break down our borders to prove it. We just look at ourselves. Oh, yep, I'm a human. I'm a human. It means I'm part of this human culture. You don't got to break down your borders to know that we're all human. We can keep our borders up and still say, oh yeah, we're all human. So yeah, I wanted to read through it myself because he's going to pick through it. And I only got maybe an hour or so left, and I wanted to get some gaming in before I took off. So yeah, wanted to go through that. Wanted to kind of hear Asmon's take on it. We won't listen to all 20-some minutes of it. Try to find places he's not scrolling and doing stuff. Try to pick out some of his key points.
Happy life in their own countries. Watch how that helps us. Watch how that helps us solve our housing crisis overnight. British social housing for British families. Foreign criminals gone day one. No need to even discuss that. We will not tolerate extremists that wish to do us harm.
And the funny thing is as I was reading through it, it sounded like what Trump was running on in 2024. It sounds literally like Trump's whole campaign in 2024. Why, since you got up there, you get bored of everything else? Oh, you lift. Filter. Left me a little gift. Left me a little gift, didn't you? Dude just loves to go around and chew on things. As long as it's not the carpet and the walls, I don't care. I don't care what he chews on. Just don't eat my books, man. I like to read.
Foreign Islamists will be deported. Dual national extremists will have their citizenship stripped and then deported. This is insane. This is crazy. Oh my God. This guy's just doing what I want. This is exactly what I want. If an individual surrenders his second citizenship in an attempt to fraudulently remain in Britain, we will take the necessary steps to reverse that process and deport them. There is a recurring theme here, I'm sure you have gathered. So yes, the recurring theme is you're going back. And ILR will be abolished in its entirety. The Boris wave will be reversed. If a country refuses to accept deported citizens, we will threaten them. Oh my God. Wow. Holy fucking shit. Do you think he's going too hard too fast? No. This is the way that you have to go. You can't, you have to go all the way in.
See, that's what I'm saying. This is pulled out of Trump's playbook. This is a Trump playbook thing right here. So you're not actually going too hard, too fast. You're just pulling plays from another person's playbook, because this felt as I was reading it, adding America in it, purposely adding America in it so that it sounds like Trump. It's Trump. It's literally Trump shit. I mean, minus the NATO, because he hates NATO. He thinks it's the stupidest thing because it's just a waste of money for America. But it's truly NATO. Say, what? When did Candace start talking about Michael? So yeah.
As possible. Because the faster that you stop the problem, the faster the problem stops getting worse. You immediately, and also this is what people have been waiting for. Like, this is like, I think this is the moderate position, right? It is. It's the moderate position. Do you think this is a step towards, what's this here? Mustache Painter 2.0? No, it's a step against the Mustache Painter, actually. And let me explain why. If this movement fails and they fail to actually have a reasonable immigration policy that puts British citizens and British people first, then you will get a Mustache Painter. Like, the reason why you don't have that right now is because you have people like this that are trying to solve the problem through the legal system and fairly. Basically, if you prevent people from being able to do it in a non-violent way, you make it inevitable that they will do it in a violent way. And so, really, you should be hoping that this guy succeeds. Because if he doesn't succeed and another guy comes in and he succeeds, that's going to be a problem. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
So anyway, because sadly this isn't going to work. Well, either way, that's what I'm saying, right? This is a step against it because you don't need to have that happen if you can just simply have these people be represented. That's what happens. And implementing this is a nightmare, by the way. Why? You just get the police and the military to go and find all the illegals and get rid of them. Like you just put them in a camp for deportation.
I mean, again, that hinges on the fact that you don't have Democrat policies. You can't have Democrat policies with something like this. This is Republic-centric. This is a very Republic-centric policy. You cannot have suicidal empathy with this kind of policy in place. This is strictly against liberal policies.
Deportations, and then you just send them out as fast as you can.
America did
like,
that.
What are you talking about? It's fucking easy.
They got protested, and now they're backing down.
Like, you just go through the database. You say, well, who's this guy? Who lives here? Okay, it's we don't know. Okay, let's go over there and find out. Okay, it's this random guy who won't give us his name. Okay, get in the box, right? There you go. It's so easy. I don't understand it. Like, yeah, I mean, really, if you had, here's the way to look at it, right?
Can't run these policies.
If you had, like,
the person that says implementing this would be a nightmare is basing that on what happened in America. Oh, sorry, bud. Sorry. See your butt there. You're good. Again, this is exactly what's been happening in America. We have these overly Democrat policies that have done nothing here. Have done nothing but hurt American citizens, put American citizens in harm's way, and that's because they have suicidal empathy. They have the benefit of the doubt that gets them killed, gets them shot and killed, raped, murdered, shot and killed, kidnapped, trafficked. When you have that kind of empathy, you can't have policies like this. You cannot have this. These policies don't work with suicidal empathy in government. Which is how you can tell that it's politics isn't really meant to do anything for the larger populace of people. It's meant to enrich people. It's meant to get people from the bottom of their little royalty ladder to the top of their little royalty ladder. And they can all pat each other on the backs and says, oh, look what we did. Look what we did.
Guys, could you figure out where a foreign national is from for whatever reason? They go to Rwanda. Wait. Oh shit. You go right. You get hot dropped in the middle of Africa.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, I want to say,
is it hot?
Or wait. I mean, it looks like a beautiful country. Not even gonna lie. Shit. Does look like a beautiful country. Land of 1,000 hills. Oh. This is going to be the biggest data spread we have right now. Projected to grow by 7.1% to 8.8%, driven by services, industrial production, and tourism. This rate is significantly higher than projected global average. It looks like they're growing as a society. But they are like smack dab in the heart of Africa. Be hot dropped in the middle of Africa.
Hot over there right now? What is the temperature?
I'd say it's about 130
in Rwanda.
Not in the shade.
No,
They have a dry
I want to
heat.
figure this out.
They have a dry heat.
Yeah, what is it?
Oh,
it's actually, honestly, it's pretty
That's
nice. Man, maybe I should go to
bad.
Rwanda.
76
nice place.
degrees.
Yeah, it's not so bad at all. 62, yeah. How about
62
that? That's
degrees
nice.
Fahrenheit.
Damn. Okay, well, surely it won't get hot, right? And so anyway, let me go back. I'll go through the
it'll
rest
get
of these. Where
hot,
the hell we go?
but
I
the
got
heat's
distracted.
not like in
so
America
basically,
where it's
if you
super
won't
saturated
tell
with
them where you're
liquid.
from, you get hot dropped in Rwanda. Oh my God. We will take a small number of high
So
skill.
yeah, I just wanted to go over that because this is exactly what Donald Trump's immigration policy was. This right here is Donald Trump's immigration policy. And it's kind of no different than what we've seen in other policies. His policy is the most democratic policy out of all three of these people's policies. Because Obama was deporting like a madman. Didn't really, you heard Clinton talking about deportations and illegal immigration, but you really didn't hear about the actual deportations themselves happening, let alone, I was a kid when Clinton was around, so he might have a crazy high deportation policy statistic. Don't be chewing on that, man. You can chew on the, hey, not the wall. You can chew on the cooler, not the wall. Yeah, be mad. Ooh, where? Come get this. Come get this string. Cereals. Hey, you gonna be angry at me now? I yelled at you. I didn't yell at you. You're being a butthead. He likes to play tug of war with me. String. Tugging. His way of celebrating his win. Oh. Yeah, he's in comedy mode right now. It cracks me up. I think he'll start sprinting. And he's quick. Starts sprinting in circles around the apartment. He has his own little sprint trail that he runs. And I just let him go. Let him go. Let him figure out the routing around the place. I think that's what he's doing. I think he went in to get some hay. Yep, there he is. I might go in there and pull out his pellets and put in new pellets. I think I'm actually going to do that. Go change out his pellets. Right back. So I cleaned out his box, get everything back in place. We come back out here and do just taking off, binking and zooming around. You gotta get your dreadlocks off you. All right. I want to play some video games before I gotta go to class because I got less than an hour. I got like 45 minutes. 45 minutes before I gotta head to class. So do this. All right. Very washed out. Oh. A little better, but there's a lot of light in my living room. Oop. Nope, that's worse. Yeah, this is why I need a room that I can set up artificial light. Because I'm so white that I'm like washed out up here. All right. Luckily, I got 2 days.
Nora's got the goods for one lucky dreamer. Who's it gonna be? Coming up next.
What's up, bud?
Yep. Let's see. Huele feo. Did you? Let's see what you got. Fine. Waste my time. Te lo juro por mí. Lo tienes, my friend.
So a time traveler and a rock and roll mutant walk into a bar. And the mutant says, "Hey, my friends all got executed. Can we go back and save them?" But the time traveler says, "Well, if we save them, then you never go on the run and hide out at the mall, so we never meet, and they can never get saved." So it goes, right? Anyways, I'm Flair. Good to meet you, Drifter.
They left us so very little. Sickness, fever, hate, and madness. Love sings the same lyrics as disease.
The glare and the glitter were never a mask. They were a message. Look at me, see me, because I'm not changing myself for you.
Very well. Flair is ours, demon.
Please select destination. Plotting route.
Scaldra. Attack.
Albania, I need you to know, you are loved. You are needed. You are not disposable.
Reject the smiling one.
Mhm.
That will shut us up?
Little Victor is so desperate. We can smell it.
First Scoldra soldier to bring me that guitar gets a week of leave. Send in a screamer. Abolish the abomination! Kill its creation!
We got lots more in us.
Flare, you abomination. You nasty chimera. You are choosing to rub our faces in your disgusting mutations. I will teach you shame. what real vocals sound like. Release the screamer.
We could dip into our back catalog.
so I can like cutting it close. Got 4 relics though. That's cool. Some good ones. Oh, the soup. Oh. I need that. I need that. Wait, I already have Geyer. Positive I have Geyer. That one. I can use that one. Ooh. Pieces. Well, I need that piece. That I don't need. I think I need 2 Kestrel pieces. Or just need the grip. But that's good. I can use this one and this one as fuel. I need that. I'm almost positive I have Geyer. Inventory. Frame. No. I have Garuda. So I do need Geyer. Yep. I need just that one piece, that chassis piece. And then I can build Geyer. Makes sense. Alright. That's going to be it. Now, we'll be back later.